Daf Yomi, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 82b, which is Pei Beis Amud Beis. Top of the page, with the word Nishan V'holech. We were actually in the middle of the story, and it went on to this page. So it's a very interesting story about Pinchas and how what transpired during the time when he killed Zimri and Cosby during that whole episode. So just to start from a line on the previous stuff, it says V'yikach Aviyakam mitoch ha'eda v'yikach romach biado mikan she'ein nechnasim mechli zayin v'es medrash shalaf shenena v'henicha be'un kolo v'haya. So it is written with regard to Pinchas, he arose from the midst of the assembly and took a spear in his hand, Numbers 25 verse 7. From here, where it is written that he took the spear only after he arose from the assembly, it is derived that one does not enter the study hall with a weapon. The assembly in this context is referring to the seat of the Sanhedrin. Pinchas removed the blade of the spear and placed it in his garment. And he held the shaft of the spear like a walking stick. And he was, and now we're on the top of 82b. Nishan v'holech al makalo, kivan shegia etzel shivto shel Shimon, amar, hecha matzino sheshivto shel Levi gadol v'shel Shimon, amrulo henichalo, afhu lasos hu tzrachav nichnas, hitiru perushin es hadavar. So basically what happened was, he came to the tribe of Shimon, and the bouncers of Shimon came to him like, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "We're the same thing. Levi's not greater than Shimon." So basically, what he was saying to them, implying to them, was that he wanted to do what they were doing with the women. They said, "Let him in. Hook a brother up." I don't know. Yeah, I guess something like that. So walking in this, okay. So basically, they said, "Let him in." If all the members of your tribe submit to the temptation of the women of Moab, I may do so as well. After hearing that statement, the members of the tribe of Shimon said, "Allow him to enter, like us. He too is entering to attend to his needs and engage in intercourse with the Moabite women." They rejoiced and said, apparently this pious and God-fearing person, the pious and the God-fearing have permitted this matter, since Pinchas was one of them. Rabbi Yochanan said there were 6 miracles that happened to Pinchas. Echad shehaya lo lezimri lefrosh v'lo perish. Echad shehaya lo lelaber v'lo diber. Echad shekiven bezachruto shel ish uvenakfuta shel isha. Ve'echad shelo nishmetu min haromach. ואחד שבא מלאך והגביה את המשקוף, ואחד שבא מלאך והשחית בעם. Rabbi Yochanan says 6 miracles were performed for Pinchas when he killed Zimri. One is that Zimri should have separated himself from Cosby, and he did not separate himself. Had he done so, it would have been prohibited for Pinchas to kill him. He was meant to be killed, I guess. And one is that Zimri should have spoken and alerted the members of his tribe to come to his assistance, and he did not speak. And one is that Pinchas directed the spear precisely to the male Zachin of Zimri and to the female Zachin of Cosby, so that the reason that he killed them would be evident. And one is that, so I guess, that's probably, must have been a miracle that they died so fast, because if someone gets, shish kebab through the Gahanga's oyster, basically, it doesn't cause death right away. Through the heart, yes. Maybe through the brain, yes. But through the schleichel washer, it's not really evident that would happen, but maybe that's the miracle that he, right away. Anyway, and one is that Zimri did not fall. He did not fall from the spear. Okay, so he shish kebabbed them, and he was holding them, and basically, maybe another miracle was that they were, it was pretty heavy. I mean, two human beings. He's holding them on a spear. Anyway, he did not fall from the spear, and one is that an angel came and raised the lintel of that chamber so that Pinchas could emerge, holding them aloft on the spear. And one is that an angel came and caused destruction among the people, distracting them from interfering with the actions of Pinchas. Okay? Ba v'chavatan lifnei hamakom, omer lefanav, Ribono shel olam, al elu yiplu 24,000 מישראל, שנאמר ויהיו המתים במגפה רבה ו20,000. והיינו נכתיב ויאמר פנחס יפלל. Pinchas came and slammed them on the ground before the Omnipresent and said before Master of the Universe, will 24,000 of the children of Israel fall due to these sinners? As it is stated, and those that died in the plague were 24,000. Numbers 25:9. And that is the meaning of that which is written. Pinchas stood and wrought judgment, and the plague was stayed. Psalms 106:30. Omar Rabbi Elazar v'yipalel v'lo nemar ela v'yipalel v'yitpalel lo nemar ela v'yipalel melamed כביכול שעשה פלילות עם קונו ביקשו מלאכי אשר לידו חפו אמר להן הניחו לו קנאי בן קנאי הוא משיב חמה בן משיב בן חמה הוא. Rabbi Elazar says, it is not stated in the verse and prayed v'yitpalel, rather it says v'yifalel. This teaches that Pinchas, as it were, wrought judgment, plilut, with his creator. The ministering angels sought to push him away because he spoke harshly to God. The Holy One, blessed be he, said to him, leave him be, he is a zealot, son of a zealot, from the tribe of Levi, who was zealous in avenging the violation of his sister Dinah. He is an alleviator of wrath, son of an alleviator of wrath, a descendant of Aaron who alleviated the wrath of God during the plague that had followed the assembly of Korach. התחילו שבטים מבזין אותו, ראיתם בן פוטי זה, שפתאום אבימו הגלים לבויד הזרה, והגנס ישב מישראל בה כתוב ויחסו פנחס בן אלעזר, ben Aaron the Kohen. The tribes began to demean Pinchas. Did you see this son of Puti, so called because his mother was one of the daughters of Putiel? See Exodus 6:25. And they interpreted homiletically as Yitro, the father of his mother, according to one rabbinic tradition, fattened calves for idol worship, and he impudently killed the prince of the tribe of Israel without a trial. In response, the verse comes and provides his lineage. Pinchas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, Numbers 25:11. It is due to that lineage that he zealously executed Zimri. Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu leMoshe, Hakdem lo shalom, שנאמר לכן אמור הנני נותן לו את בריתי שלום וראויה כפרה זו שתהיה מכובדת ולכת לו העולם. The Holy One, blessed be he, said to Moses, be the first to greet Pinchas with a blessing of peace, to honor him before the people, as it is stated. Therefore say I hereby give him my covenant of peace, Numbers 25:12, and it is stated, and it shall be unto him and to his descendants after him a covenant of eternal priesthood, because he was zealous for his God, and he atoned for the children of Israel. Numbers 25:13. And this atonement that he facilitated is worthy of continuing to atone forever. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rav, Mai dichtiv, Zar Zir Matnaim o Taish, Umelech Alkum imo. 424 בעילות בעל אותו, רשע אותו היום, והמתין לו פנחס עד שתשש כוחו, והוא אינו יודע שמלך אלקום עמו. With regard to the same matter, Rav Nachman says that Rav says, what is the meaning of that which is written? The thigh-belted greyhound, or the he-goat, and the king against whom none can rise. Proverbs 30:31. That wicked Zimri engaged in 424. That's a little bit hard to imagine. He engaged in 424, the numerical value of the word zarzir. Wow. Acts of intercourse with Cosby that day. Can you imagine how much energy you have to have? 424 times. The act with that day. And Pinchas waited until his strength waned from all that activity. And Pinchas did not know that it was not necessary to wait that long, because the king against whom none can rise, a reference to the Holy One, blessed be He, was with him. Okay. B'masnisatana shishim ad shinasa kebetza hamuzeres uhoisa keruga malea mayim Amar Rav Kahana Umosha Beitza Tana Rav Yosef Kever Shela Ama. It was taught in a bright that Zimri engaged in intercourse 60 times until he became like an addled egg whose contents are muddled and non-differentiated fluid. And Cosby was like a garden bed full of water. Rav Kahana said, to underscore her disgrace resulting from her extensive sexual activity, and her seat was as wide as the area required for sowing one seah of seed, a beit seah. Okay, obviously an exaggeration. Rav Yosef taught the opening of her womb was a cubit. The opening of her was a cubit? No. Wow, that's crazy. It's like 2 feet. Omer Rav Sheshes lo Cosby Shema ela Shevilnai bat Tzur Shema Vilama nikra Shema Cosby shekizba be'aviha davar acher Cosby she'amra le'aviha kos bi amze. Rav Sheshet says Cosby was not her given name, rather Shevilnai, daughter of Tzur, was her real name. And why was she called Cosby? Because through her action she distorted the intentions of her father. He told her to submit only to the greatest of the children of Israel, and she submitted to the leader of a tribe. Alternatively, she was called Cosby because she said to her father, slaughter this people through me. Cosby, slaughter this people through me, as I will seduce them to engage in licentiousness. Behind the Damri Inchi, Ben Keni, the Urbani, Shivilnai my baye, baya, Behade Klipai, Dikne, Shivilnai my baye, Gafta Lima. Her name was Shivilnai, and this is, as people say in reference to a famous prostitute, between reeds and willows, what does Shivilnai seek? Clearly she seeks licentiousness. There is another adage, among the peels of the reeds, what does Shivilnai seek? Clearly she seeks licentiousness. She prostituted her mother. Apparently Shivilnai became a name popularly used to connote a prostitute. Interesting. This is, how did they know this? Is urban legend? Did this get passed down from father to son? I don't know. Oh. Okay. Apparently, Shvilnai became a name popularly used to denote a prostitute. Since everyone refers to her as a prostitute, daughter of a prostitute, she has implicated her mother with her licentiousness. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Chamisha Shemos Yesh Lo, Zimri uben Salu v'Shaul uben Haknaanit uShlumiel ben Suri Shaddai Zimri al Shinasa kebetza hamuzeret Ben Salu al Shehisli Avonot Shel Mishpachto Shaul על שהשיל עצמו לדבר עברו, בן הכנעניס, על שעושו מעשה כנען, ומה שמו שלומיאל, ben Tzuri Shaddai Shemo. I guess he was the original Shlomiel. Rabbi Yochanan says Zimri has 5 names. Zimri, son of Salu and Shaul, the son of the Canaanite woman. And Shlomiel, son of Tzuri Shaddai. He was called Zimri because of the fact that he became like an addled egg as a result of engaging in multiple acts of intercourse. He was called son of Salu because of the fact that he evoked the sins of his family. He evoked Shehilshi, the sins of his family. He was called Shaul because of the fact that he lent himself to sinful matters. He was called son of the Canaanite woman because of the fact that he performed an act of Canaan, as Canaanites were renowned for their licentiousness. And what is his given name? Shlomiel, the son of Tzuri Shaddai, is his name. The leader of the tribe of Shimon. Numbers 1:6. Kohen sheshimesh betuma. Now we're moving on. Baimina ravacha barahuna merav sheshet Kohen sheshimesh betuma chayav mita bidei shemayim or ein chayav bidei shemayim. The Mishnah teaches in the case of a priest who performed the temple service in a state of ritual impurity, the young of the priest would kill him. Rav Acha bar Huna raised a dilemma before Rav Sheshet in the case of a priest who performed the temple service in a state of ritual impurity. Is he liable to receive death at the hand of heaven, or is he not liable to receive death at the hand of heaven? Amar le tenetua Kohen sheshimish betuma ein echav kohanim mevi'in oto lebedin. אלא פרחי כהונה מוצאים אותו חוץ לזורה ופויצין אס מויכוי בגזירין. ויסוק דרך מחל בידי שמיים לשפקה דלתול בידי שמיים אלא מאי אינו חייב. Rav Sheshet said to him, you learned the resolution of that dilemma from the Mishnah itself, as we learned in the case of a priest who performed the temple service in state of ritual impurity. His priestly brethren do not bring him to court for judgment. Rather, the young of the priest would remove him from the temple courtyard and pierce his skull with pieces of wood. And if it enters your mind to say that he is liable to receive death at the hand of heaven, let the young of the priesthood leave him, so that he will be killed at the hand of heaven. Rather, what must one say? He is not liable to receive death at the hand of heaven. Mi'ika Midiachmane patre ve'anane kominictole vela atanan. See, we're holding on time here. 18 minutes. Wow. Atanan mishelaka vishana based machnis inosarikipa achmane patre ve'anan katin le ha'amor abdi Yirmiyah amarish lakish b'malkus shel kresos eskinan digavra bar katalahu. Rav Acha bar Huna rejects that proof. Is there any act for which the Torah absolves him of the death penalty, and we shall arise and execute him? Rav Sheshet said to him, are there not cases where one is executed even though the Torah absolves him? But didn't we learn in the Mishnah one who was flogged for violating a prohibition and then repeated the violation, the court places him into the vaulted chamber? There too, the merciful one absolves him of the death penalty, and we execute him. Rav Acha bar Huna rejects that proof. Doesn't Rabbi Yirmiyah say that Reish Lakish says we are dealing with lashes administered for violations of prohibitions punishable by karet? As in that case, the man is essentially liable to be punished with death at the hand of heaven. V'hagonev akasva v'haon v'haomer Rabbi Yehuda b'chli sharis l'skina remiza lo yavo lirois kevara el hakodesh v'mesu. Rav Sheshet said to him, but isn't there the case of one who steals a kasva, who is exempt from punishment by Torah law? And the Mishnah says that zealots strike him. A kasva is a holy vessel of the temple. Rav Acha bar Huna rejects this proof, but doesn't Rabbi Yehuda say we are dealing with a service vessel utilized in the temple, and the fact that one who steals a service vessel is allowed to be killed by zealots is intimated in the verse but they shall not come to see the sacred items as they are being covered lest they die. Numbers 4:20. Rav Yosef Yaka Kosim is Kosmo. Rav Sheshet said to him, but isn't there the case of one who curses the sorcerer, who is exempt from punishment by Torah law? And the Mishnah says that zealots strike him. Rav Acha Bar Huna rejects that proof, but didn't Rav Yosef teach that the reference to a case where one says, let the sorcerer strike his sorcerer, which appears to be like one who is a blessing, meaning euphemism for cursing the name of God, and he is liable to be executed for desecration of the name of God. Rav Sheshet said to him, but isn't there the case of one who engages in intercourse with an Aramean woman who is exempt from punishment by Torah law? And the Mishnah says that zealots strike him. Rav Acha Bar Huna rejects that proof. Didn't they read a verse to Rav Kahana in his dream? When he related his dream to Rav remembered that which he learned through tradition, that God will excise the soul of one who engages in intercourse with a Gentile woman. Esvei hayotzik v'haboilel v'hapotas hamoleach hameniv hamegish v'hamasader hashulchan hametiv v'saneros v'hakol mitzvah mekabel dam yibachutz patur. Rav Acha Bar Huna raised an objection to the opinion of Rav Sheshet that a priest who performs a temple service in a state of ritual impurity is not liable to receive death at the hand of heaven. A Braita teaches with regard to a priest who pours oil onto a meal offering, and one who mixes the oil into the meal offering, and one who breaks a baked meal offering into pieces, and one who salts the meal offering, and one who waves it toward the altar, and one who brings the meal offering to the altar, and one who arranges the table of the showbread, and one who removes the ashes from the lamps of the candelabrum, and one who removes the handful of the meal offering, and one who collects the blood after the slaughter of one of the offerings. If the priest performs any of these sacrificial rites outside the temple, although there are severe prohibitions with regard to performing the temple service outside the temple, he is exempt from karet. And one is not liable for their performance.